Welcome, I'm Xephiro, your guide for this mod. You might be wondering how I got here. Well, I pressed M on my keyboard, and I ended up here. So, that said, as you can see, there's 3 pedestals here. Staff, a shield, and finally, a sword. So, you have 3 choices to make here, and it decides your level 1 stats. So, the first choice determines what stat will be higher. So let's say I pick the sword. Okay, second choice. This will be the lower stat. So let's say I choose the shield, which is my defense. So I'm opting to up my strength, but lower my defense. Okay. And here we are. We now have a menu key. This will look very familiar if you played Kingdom Hearts at all. You'll hit status, and you'll notice that my strength is a 2, my magic is a 1, and my defense is a 0. So you're probably wondering now, how do you get a Keyblade? Well, that's simple really. So, wonder no longer, because you must first get a recipe. You can find these as drops from mobs or in certain village buildings, Moogle houses. You'll know it when you see it. Lucky for me, the lab here has one as an example, but we aren't making the Keyblades that are listed here. But how you learn the recipes, you open it and then you right click. As you can see in the chat, it says that I learned those 3 Keyblades. And I have my 2 materials here, but hold on, how do I use all of this and make them? Well, now you gotta find a Moogle, for 2 reasons really. Firstly, they're how you make them, along with accessories and certain battle items. There's a button right here that lets me show you what they look like. And there's 2 features to this. They have a GUI when you right click on them. I can't exactly right click on it because it's behind glass here. Now, from my understanding, I was just put in this lab, not gonna lie. But from my understanding, this button will give them a pancake. Anyway, so, as you can see, they dropped this weird looking item when they got pancaked. Now this is a Moogle projector. It does the same thing the Moogle does, except you'll have murder on your hands, and it doesn't ever leave you, just like this block. So now that you've murdered this innocent Moogle with an anvil, it's time to make your Keyblade. You right click on it, and here's the GUI. We'll discuss this one in a later video if there's questions. But first we need to go to the material list and deposit. We have our 2 materials in here. Now lucky for me, I did give us a Keyblade to forge from the get-go. And here we are. This Keyblade will accompany us for the rest of the video. Now you might be wondering, how do I equip this? Now, just a warning, depending on your configs, you might have some new friends to say hello to the second you make your first Keyblade. You've been warned. Now, to equip, press M and go to items. Then you go to equipment. As you can see here, there's a bunch of slots, but we want the weapon one. And like that, we've equipped our Keyblade. Now you might be wondering, how do I summon this? How do I get it? I don't have the chain. Well, you press G. And like that, you have a Keyblade. Now, you may have noticed these 2 things right here. This is a save point. It lets you set your spawn point when you shift. And this is a chest full of some goodies. They serve as a storage chest, but you can also lock them with certain keyblades. See, now this chest is locked, but now if I pull out Kingdom Key, I can open it. So with that said, let's grab our items here, and I will teach you how to use each and every one of them. So first, let's go over the boosts. You just right click, and you can see above my hotbar, it's increasing my stats permanently. Simple enough, right? Next we have the accessories and battle items. Go to your menu, go to items, equipment, and from here you can see how this works. And there you go. You can even check your stock. For example, so you might be wondering about these spell orbs, these form orbs. Well, the spell orbs, we'll go over those first. You just right click. You'll notice that the magic command has appeared, but how do you use it? Well, you can Alt and use your number keys, or you can Alt and use your scroll wheel if you have one. And you can left click to select. For example, same applies for items. And when you're in the menu, you can right click to go back. Even works here, but it doesn't do anything. So next are the form orbs. As you can see, you just right click and you unlock the forms. You can go to status and check out everything you need to know. If you played Kingdom Hearts 2, you'll be very familiar with these forms, and they level up the exact same way. Valor form from hitting things, Wisdom form from killing Heartless, Limit form from hitting things, Master form from gaining Drive Orbs, and Final form for killing nobodies and Endermans in this case. So, with that said, the forms also come with abilities, along with some of the Keyblades. We'll go over these abilities later when we have more. Oh, now you nearly forgot. In your equipment, you'll notice something for Valor form. We don't have a Keyblade for that, but... Oh, what's this? A new Keyblade. Wow, amazing. We now have another Keyblade. But observe. Give me strength! We have now entered Valor form. And as such, we can now dual wield. Now you might be wondering, but you're stuck in here now. You can't use anything. That is where you're wrong. That's right, you can open doors, iron doors specifically, with the Keyblade. This also applies to iron trapdoors. Incredibly cursed. Now that we're situated, this sign cannot hold us back because we cannot read. But before we leave, I have to explain the stats and abilities. So, every 5 levels with this mod, you will gain hit points. And you'll notice my hearts now have another layer to them. But if you notice in the bottom right corner, there's 2 bars there. A green bar, which is your health, and the blue bar, which is your MP. Every 3 levels, you will gain MP. So remember that. It's either 3 or 4. They might have changed it on me, but that's fine. But now, we have abilities, such as Scan, MP Safety, MP Haste, and Damage Drive. These do the same things that they do in their respective games. But as well, we now have a Shot Lock. If you're a Birth by Sleep player, or a Kingdom Hearts 3 player, you'll know exactly what a Shot Lock is. I'll go over that in just a moment. So now that we are done, I can go over some of the blocks. As you can see here, we have a few things here. Let's check out this chest first. This synthesis bag right here holds synthesis items. It upgrades with money. Now you might be wondering, how do we get money? Well, either A, you kill mobs, or B, you mine these blocks. The left here are prize blocks. As you can see, they drop different materials, and sometimes they will drop spell orbs. For example, I have a blizzard orb and a thunder orb. The thing about the spell orbs is you can use them more than once, up to 3 times per spell. So, as you can see here, we have blizzard here, but if I use it, it becomes blizzara. And it becomes a lot more upgraded. It uses the Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 magic system. So, naturally, if you use too much MP, you'll start to recharge MP. On to the rare prize blocks, though. They drop rarer materials, and sometimes they will drop an extra surprise. That's right, you get drive forms from the rare prize blocks. And now, we have Master Form. Now onto these 2 wonderful blocks. Let's start with this one. This one is a danger block. It hurts you upon touching it. And mining it. Not to mention, you can also delete items. So if we grab these seeds that I dropped oh so geniusly, they act like a cactus essentially. Poof, they're gone. As for this wonderful block, it will explode upon touching it. And now, that could be anything. Be it yourself, a mob, items, or just punching it. But there is a way to break it. Observe as I expertly type in this command. And looky there, we have our blast block. Now you might be wondering, how powerful is this explosive? Well, let's find out right now. And then we'll head on to the next part. It's a lot more powerful than TNT, that's for sure. On to the next part, after I give myself some food. On to the next part. There's new mobs. I did mention these new friends. But there's also new mechanics to go with it. For example, if you press Z on your keyboard, you can lock on. With scan, you can see its health. So if I... Ow, ow, ow. If you press and hold your pick block button, we'll go into shot lock mode. As you can see, shot locks are pretty powerful, so be sure to abuse them. Oh god. We're gonna ignore that. So now you know sheer basics of this mod. Now, I don't want to spoil everything like people who get copies of new games weeks before release, so I'll just leave you with one more thing to explore and look into. Come with me. What's this? Crafting recipes? But whatever do they do? Or whatever do they make? I'll leave it to you to download the mod and find out for yourself. This will conclude the video teaching you the sheer basics of this mod. I hope you download it and enjoy. I will leave links to the Discord and the download for the mod below in the description. If you enjoy it, consider leaving a like and subscribing. It's free after all, and it doesn't cost you anything, and it'll take 2 seconds. So, with all that said, I hope you all enjoy this mod, and I'll see you all later. Bye!